Welcome to World Travel Made Easy with Itinerary Boss, the podcast for busy professionals who want to plan unforgettable trips without the stress. If you're craving adventure, relaxation, or cultural immersion, but feel overwhelmed where to start, this is the show for you. Each week, we dive into travel tips, expert strategies, and actionable advice to help you save time, money, and hassle while helping you design your dream trip. From group getaways to romantic escapes to adventure packed journeys and budget friendly tips, we cover it all. I'm Ross, your host and travel enthusiast, with over a decade of experience balancing a demanding career while also planning trips to over 25 cities in Europe, all over the US, Central America, the Caribbean, and beyond. I've mastered the art of stress free planning, and I'm here to help you do the same. If you love what you hear, don't forget to follow the show, leave us a review, as well as share it with a fellow traveler. I want to make your next adventure the easiest and most memorable yet. Now, on with the show. Welcome back to another episode of World Travel Made Easy with Itinerary Boss. For this week, I'm excited to introduce to you a new solo series that we're going to be doing. And the goal for this is to give you step by step tutorials on top of the weekly episodes that we release with different experts in different areas of travel. But I wanted to bring to you different specific locations that I've been to, different specific tactics and strategies that I've used over the course of my travel, because some of those episodes that we released in 2024 actually got the most listens and downloads and some of the best feedback. So we want to make sure that we're bringing you the best content that you've asked for. And this is going to go along with the different social series that we have on the different social platforms we're on across Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, that we're going to do step-by-step walkthroughs of if I'm going somewhere, what are all the different questions that I have right before going? And we want to give you that kind of content mini series that's daily that shows you when you are preparing for these trips, right? How do you do it? Giving you all the different information you need, the different lessons that we learned, some funny stories along the way. But at the end of the day, we just want to help you go to some of these locations that I've absolutely loved when I have traveled to and just give you the guidance that you need. So to kick it off for February and March, we're going to be diving into everything Portugal. I'm going to be diving deep into the Azores, Porto, Lisbon, as well as the Algarve. And for today's episode, I'm going to dive into the Azores. And the reason I'm doing that is when we went on our 16-day trip to the Azores in 2023, that's the first place, or to Portugal in 2023. The Azores is the first place that we flew into. So it's definitely becoming more well known, but still is a pretty hidden gem, just because it's a set of islands in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, about 2 hours off the coast of Portugal that not a lot of people know about. So it was one place I've always wanted to go. And how to get there from the US. A lot of people don't know this, but you actually can get direct flights from Boston, and it's a 4.5, 5 hour flight directly from there for us. And you can fly on Sete Azores Air, or if you wanted to go to Lisbon and then fly back there, there's different layovers you could do on TAP Portugal and other airlines. But for us, we were coming out of Charlotte, so we flew from Charlotte, had a layover in Boston. The nice thing is we had a 9 hour layover in Boston, so we actually did check bags. So the fact that we checked those bags, we didn't have to grab the bags from the kiosk and from baggage claim, and we didn't have to bring those with us, recheck those in. Since the Azores was our final destination, they actually were sent to and stayed there until we flew out. We double checked this actually just to make sure when we were in Boston, but just from that perspective, that then gave us the ability to just have our backpacks, and even if we had carry-ons, there's different storage options within places like Boston that you could find and have your luggage stored. So something to keep in mind. But the best part about that layover in Boston is it's 10-15 minutes from the airport to the city. So we just had a full day in Boston. And in a later episode, I'll do a deeper dive into a Northeast trip into Boston. But there's plenty of stuff to do. You can bounce around to different food places, definitely get a lobster roll, can go to different breweries, but I'll do that within a later episode. But we made the most of that. Had a layover, and then from there had our flight. Arrived in the Azores early in the morning. And when you're thinking of the Azores, it's a set of islands. The main one that you can get those direct flights to is Ponta Delgada, and that's on the São Miguel Island. And we flew in, got there. I always highly suggest renting a car, and you can get that from Ilha Verde, which within the Portugal Azores itinerary that I'll provide a downloadable free resource from my website that you can go grab. You can then find the link to book that rental car. I highly suggest booking a rental car. That way you can go on your own schedule all over, right? And the island itself is very big and pretty much to any of the main destinations that we'll dive into, just around Furnas, around Sete Cidades, around Ponta Delgada, Ribeira Grande, and just other areas, you're going to want to have that rental car just to have that flexibility and make the most of your stay and just the most of your trip. So this we were there for 6.5, 7 days. So that's really how you get there. And then once you land, the airport's pretty small, so you just walk outside. Your rental car is right there. There's no shuttles. It's pretty easy. And then from there, two main places you can stay are there's Ponta Delgada, which is the capital. That's going to be more of your city vibe, where you're gonna have nice hotels, as well as stays on the water. You're gonna have those just in the city, and then and the nice thing about it, it's very central and easy to get to from the airport, as well as it's central to all the different sites you're gonna go to. We actually stayed in Ribeira Grande, which is about 15 minutes from there. Just very easy to get to from when you get your car from the airport. So we stayed there. Where to stay? We stayed at the Hotel Verde Mar Spa, and I'll share that link within the show notes. But that place was amazing. We paid about 160 a night. We had a king suite. It overlooked the ocean. It had an infinity pool. It had an amazing all-you-can-eat breakfast that was good till noon every day. Actually had included champagne, just like anything you could think of. Food was amazing. Had a spa, pool within the hotel, steam room, sauna. So can't say enough about this. It's central as well, and Ribeira Grande, so it's walking distance to downtown, as well as it's walking distance to a couple of the different beaches, the Santa Barbara Beach, which is great. So highly suggest that. When you fly in, usually you're probably going to get there in the morning. So what we did is we got in, we then we went to Lago do Fogo, which is amazing. I mean, I would highly suggest that. It's actually stands for Lake of Fire. So you can go, you pretty much when you get there, and one lesson learned that we did learn is when you get there, you'll type it into Google Maps and you'll drive up, but there's a certain part that you can't get past. So then you have to buy tickets to go. And there's a parking spot, and then there's a shuttle that'll take you to there. So highly suggest that. And when you go up, sometimes, I mean, the weather in the Azores is going to be a little bit spotty, and you can get all four seasons, right? It can be sunny, it could rain, it could be a little chilly. So my suggestion is if you want kind of the best of both worlds from a weather standpoint and from a travel standpoint, going in April or May, that's or September, October, kind of those shoulder seasons, which if you listen to anything else or you follow me, you understand like that's my favorite time to travel because you're getting the best prices, weather, less crowds, but also you're getting kind of what that summer peak season, what you'd get there. So I would start there. Once you take the bus up, it'll take you to the stopping point, which has an amazing view. You can go get pictures there. So for us, the clouds are actually over, and a lot of the times it'll cover the lake. So the bus actually will then, if that's going on, you can't get a good picture or you don't have a good view, go down, walk down to the lake. You actually can hike down to the lake, and you can then hike all the way down. You can walk around. It's like a 2 3 mile walk, or you can just hike down, get some good pictures, and when it gets starts to get sunny, go back up and take pictures from the top and just go get a good view. It's a very cool experience, and it's nice to do right after you get off your flight. And if you have your rental car, you have all your bags there, so you don't have to worry about any of your luggage. From there, then we we took the bus. We honestly were kind of gassed, so we did not do the. It's called Salto do Cabrito, which is a waterfall within that area. And one thing that you do want to worry about, that you want to focus on, is the bus lines that go to and from like the parking lot to other parking lots. Make sure you get on and you get on the right one. I would suggest taking a picture of the sign of where you are, because when we got on, we took the wrong route and then had to come back up. So what I did is, luckily I was able to go back in my phone, or my fiance's phone, and she had a picture of it, and we were able to then show them that, get on the right bus, go back. It's a perfect half day where you get there, right? If you get there at 7 a.m., you can go do that, grab some breakfast, um, you know, on your way there. And then once that's finished, you can head over to the hotel and check in. Once you're at the hotel, plenty of stuff just to relax. I mean, we just went and sat by the pool. On Saturdays and Sundays, they have a pool bar as well as music. So there's definitely people there having a good time, which we really liked. And yeah, and just relax. I mean, you can go eat dinner at different places, if you'd like, or you can just there is a hotel restaurant that you could eat at. We walked down to Santa Barbara, and when you check out the itinerary, I have all the different names of the places that we ate, and we had we walked down to Santa Barbara. You were able to eat there, and there was a place that we ate at that was on the water that had really good food. And yeah, it was amazing. So highly suggest that, and you also get really good sunsets. So I'll make sure to drop those restaurants in the itinerary, so you have that, as well as within the blog post that will be out shortly as well. So that's really the first day. The second day, and this also always depends on the weather. So I think if you want to, and that's one thing with the Azores, you kind of want to break out your days and look at the weather. So you don't want to say on day two we're 100% going to this place. And that's the beauty of having a rental car, is you kind of can decide. If the weather is good, my suggestion is break out your day to the west side. And what I'll do is I'm going to pull up my screen so you can see this, and this will be easier for you to follow along. I know I'm talking through this, but I always find this easier. So if you were to go to, oh, let's dive in here. So when you fly in to San Miguel, you have Ponta Delgada, which is here. You're going to have the airport in this area. Ribeira Grande is up here. So if you zoom out a little bit, you can see both of these are within the center of the island. So you're going to have a lot of different things. So you're going to have, but when I'm talking about Cidades, you can see it's over here. So it's about a 45-minute drive. Um, and when you, and I'll pull up an image of this area, but this is the probably famous picture that you're familiar with, is this right here. And how to get there. So if you're over here in Ribeira Grande, you have your car, you're going to drive up this way to here. But one of the biggest things you're going to want to focus in on is doing that early in the morning. Obviously, it gets more crowded as the day goes on. So if you're tracking the weather and the weather looks good, my suggestion would be drive there early in the morning. Then from there, what you're going to do is you're going to put this in Google Maps. you're going to go type in Boca de Inferno, and you can type in Sete Cidades Lakes and it'll take you that way. But then from there, you'll type in Miradora da Vista do Rei, Lago do Caneiro, Miradoro da Vistas das Freiras, and again, we'll have all of this linked out in our blog so you can follow along, and you can see different images of it. And then you'll have Miradoro do Lago de Santiago, and then Sete Cialis Village, and then also Ponte de Ferraria. And then there's also, if you want, there's a sunset bar over in this area. Since you're over here, I always suggest doing that, and I'll link that. That'll also be within the blog post that you can check out. But this area will have where you want to go that evening for the sunset. But if you put it in Google Maps, it'll really take you up this way. You'll cover everything that I just mentioned, and you'll end here. And then from there, you'll make your way back over to Ribeira Grande. So that's one of the days. It takes a full day. It's amazing though. Some of the pictures, right? Here's kind of what you're gonna see throughout, which is like this is when you're walking up. It's amazing. So this was our favorite day, just seeing this. Just the Earth crater. It was pretty cool. So definitely check that out. Another full day is going to be to Furnas. So if you come to here, let's just go back. You're going to go to from here over to Furnas. We'll just type in, and you'll see this is 35, 40-minute drive. There's a couple things over here that you're going to do in Furnas. When you're at Furnas, you'll do the Lago das Furnas, you'll do Calderas das Furnas, the hot springs. You'll do Terra Nostra Park, which had in the hot springs, which is actually this brown hot water, and it's definitely a cool. It's just a cool experience, and it's this park that you walk through, and you can check that out on the blog, different pictures, step by step. You want to get there early, that way you can kind of beat the lines, enjoy your day. And then that's really a full day. A couple places to eat there that we stopped in: the Gardner Bar and Terrace if you want to drink, and some apps. The Chalet de Tia Mercies, which is dessert. So that was really good. And then we did a relaxing day just at the spa. You can relax, enjoy the spa. They have massage packages. You have the steam room, like I mentioned. You have the pool. You have an indoor pool. Um, and you can get a day pass where it's sauna, everything included in the massage. There's a couple different things which I'll link to the show notes. If you want to do a day trip to just a couple different places like the tea plantation, you can do that. So I'll put this in real quick. And this kind of shows, so this is actually a hot springs that what the waves were, it was a red flag day, so the waves are kind of high for us, but this is actually a hot spring in the ocean. So it's pretty cool. You have to walk down. So that's one of the places that we did. And all of these, when you rent your car, this was one of our favorite days, is we just drove around and went and checked out all these different places. This was probably one of the coolest viewpoints. You're driving around just the entire island, and this is what, yeah, I mean, I literally have the same picture, but you drive around and then you stop at some of these viewpoints and see, and it's just a very cool drive. The roads are small. It's definitely feels like you're on a deserted island. And then there's also the tea plantation, and a couple other things. So my suggestion is I would type in the Ponte de Madruga viewpoint, and I'll have all this in the blog so you can follow around, as well as the downloadable free itinerary. And you can then type that in, type in Google Maps. Usually when you're driving, it'll have like viewpoint, like if you're in the States, where you can pull off and you can see some of the amazing places. So those would be a couple of the days. There's the tea plantation, there's wineries, there's breweries, there's different things. So that's what I would suggest. And then For a day trip, if you wanted to go to Ponta Delgada, you could stay there. You don't have to. The place that you could stay at is the Hotel Gaviota Azores. And really, you can walk around. There's different things to do just from a standpoint of there's like it's a pool that's also connected to the ocean. So similar to what I showed for the hot springs, you can do that. So that was pretty cool. And it's just a walkable city. And I'll show this within my blog that you can go check out. But that was really the bulk of what we did. I highly suggest it. Um, those are really the top things to do. You also can go whale watching if you'd like. We did not do that, but that's something else that you're able to do. My suggestion would be, I would say 6 days. Five, you could do it in 5 days. We like to have the day that we relaxed. We like to kind of space things out. So I think 7 days was probably the perfect. The 7 day itinerary was great. Um, I mean, the hidden gems were some of the places I mentioned. Again, getting there early is going to be helpful. Best sunset views, that Miro de Boco do Inferno is great, as well as Mira da Ponto da Madruga was amazing. We really liked that. A couple things too, just around packing. Like I mentioned, since that you do get 4 seasons pretty much in one there, you're gonna want to pack rain jacket, walking shoes, probably walking shoes or hiking boots that you don't care to get dirty. And then it's a pretty casual place, to be honest. So you can really, I would say, if you want just comfortable clothes, some casual dinner outfits, the shoes, really, you're really just going to be doing a lot of um, walking, exercising, sandals, flip flops for the pool, things like that. Those would be some suggestions there. I do have a full packing checklist that you can grab at my website with the stress-free travel starter kit that really gives you packing checklist. It gives you 5 insider tips to book things, as well as gives you a free Costa Rica itinerary, as well as a budget tracker and just a lot of other things that's going to help you travel smarter. Like I mentioned, seasonal travel tips are just, I would travel that shoulder season, April, May, as well as September, October. And then from a best time to book flights, we booked them pretty far in advance. We booked them 9 months in advance. I mean, I would just say watching them is going to be key if you're paying in cash. If you're paying in points and miles, I would check out. You could check out Tap Portugal because that might be able to get you a one way, depending on if you're going to Lisbon, areas like that. It just depends on your complete route. But yeah, I would look into that. And if you want to learn more about points and miles, check out our website for under credit cards, and we'll have a list of where to get started, what may be best for you. From a currency standpoint, Portugal uses the euro. And to be honest, that was one of my favorite things about it. Super budget friendly, very cheap. You'll see in my blog post the ultimate guide as well as the 7 day itinerary. Um, some of the places we ate at were unbelievable. I mean, they were cheap, but also so good. I mean, one of the places we were on the ocean and we had an espresso martini as well as seafood. And I mean, the espresso martini I think was like $4. So and just to give you an idea, so you can see these, because I don't want to butcher some of the names. And I will give you, so this is actually, so this highly suggest we ate here. This is right in Ribeira Grande. It's less than a 5 minute drive from the hotel, from Hotel Verde Mar. And this steak was one of the best steaks I've ever eaten. Very affordable. When you get there, usually it's a 20-25 minute wait. So phenomenal. This is in Furnas. We ate here, a nice little garden area. Another place that we ate was Mara Nostrum. That's the place I mentioned, the $5 espresso martinis. This is actually right next to it. And then um, the Where is the? Here, give me one sec. Yeah, there we go. And then the place in Santa Barbara that we really liked started with a T, and I just don't want to butcher the name of it. Yeah, right here. The Tuca Tula Beach Bar. This was phenomenal. I would highly suggest eating there one night, walk down. That's a 15-minute walk from Ribeira Grande, or sorry, from the hotel you're staying at in Ribeira Grande. This place is on the, if you walk towards downtown area, it's 10-15 minute walk from your hotel. This you'll have to drive, 5 minute drive. It was phenomenal. So I would say these three are must eat ats for dinner each night. So I think we ate here twice. And then there's some other places within, this is actually somewhere that we ate that was really good. There's other places within town, but when you get there, also just ask. You can ask your hotel if you don't want to go there. But yeah, I mean those are probably most of the things that I would suggest. From a passport standpoint, you're going to need a passport to get there. You don't need any sort of visas, anything like that. So that would be, I mean, most of those would be my suggestions. Also, one thing, a lesson learned is when you are doing your rental car, when you're filling up on gas, make sure that you read if it's 87 or 91, especially if you're doing it at 4 a.m. before you're flying. So just a heads up there. But yeah, overall, absolutely love San Miguel. Beautiful, just very relaxing, very affordable, can kind of go at your own pace. My suggestion would be stay at Ribeira Grande, um, and maybe do a day trip to Ponta Delgado. We stayed there one night, honestly. You get a way better bang for your buck for Ribeira Grande. Ponta Delgado was kind of underwhelming. I mean, it was definitely cool to go walk around for a day and see a lot of the sites within the city. But from a standpoint of what did we enjoy the most, we really enjoyed the most of just hanging out at the hotel, having our car, driving around, being able to see those sites, being able to a couple days getting up early to beat the crowds, but it was really 2 days out of that, and then the rest was just hanging out and being at our own pace. And there's plenty of when you have breakfast there included at that hotel, and you have a massive room that has a king bed that has a balcony. There's just so much more space than when you're staying in Ponta Delgado. You're paying more to have way less, and it just feels more like a city feel. So my suggestion is stay there. And yeah, the rental car wasn't bad. And from a budgetary standpoint, I will also share those numbers within the blog, within some of the social content that I have coming out. And yeah, stay tuned for next week's episode around Porto. Then the following, we'll have the Algarve, and then the following, we'll have Lisbon. And the reason I'm doing it that way is that's the way that we traveled on this trip. And if you want to check out just kind of a full episode that dives into all of them, you can go back to the 16-day itinerary episode that I had. But I just wanted to break these up into mini episodes to make it easier for you to, if you're only wanting to go to one place or you just have a couple days for that specific location, wanted to make sure that we're answering those questions for you. And the majority of the time in a lot of these episodes, what we're going to break it down is how to get to this specific location, where to stay, top things to do, how many days do you need, best restaurants, hidden gems. Everyone loves a sunset, so where to do that. If you have a less of a day, right? I want to make sure I'm giving a bulk, but also saying here's, so for example, this is 7 day, but I'm saying if you have 2 days, 3 days somewhere, like what are the must do's? For the Azores, I would say Sete Cidades is a must do, Furnas is a must do, and then driving around for a full day and doing the viewpoints is a must do. What to pack, are there specific places that you need to go? What are best flight options, best times to fly, entry requirements, currency, budgeting? What does that look like? Any off season tips or tricks? And yeah, and just giving my honest opinion if I think it's worth going. And that's why I wanted to break this down, because Portugal is somewhere I 100% would go to. And it's I'm definitely excited to have some of these more further episodes. So if you have any feedback, if there's other areas that you'd like to learn about for these specific locations, questions, comments, please feel free to leave those in the comments on Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast. Check out our mini content series on social media. Those are some shorty bits that are gonna help you, as well as blog posts. If you like to read, digest, we'll have links to everything, so you have that readily available to make it super simple for you. So yeah, check those out. Those will be coming out, and then if you want all of this just broken down, simplified, sent to your inbox, you want research, right? You don't want to have to sift through a bunch of different Google tabs. Go ahead to our website, sign up for our weekly newsletter that comes out, because there's a lot of valuable content, and it's the Spark Notes that's going to help you click, yeah, this makes sense. I want to read this, or this isn't really valuable for me. That's totally fine, but it's going to give you, right, the Spark Notes. It's going to make your life a lot easier. And I get it. A lot of people are subscribed to newsletters, and that's what I like, when someone makes it easy, digestible, and simple. And I'm going to bring that to you. So hopefully this was really helpful. And we'll look forward to seeing you on next week's episode. Have a great rest of your day.